Hello and a very warm welcome and thank you for joining me today. I'm Jules Hawley. I'm a life and business coach and I'm the founder of Mind, Body, Life, Soul. Today I'd like to share with you and guide you through the process that I use in my signature coaching program. These have been very uncertain times which are still stretching out ahead of us, and many of us are taking this opportunity to assess our lives and we're considering making changes. So they have been tough times, and I thought if any one of you could benefit from having some clear steps to follow, then I would love to share them. But first, a little bit of an introduction and background to me, what I do, why I do it, and how I do that. So I help women to change their lives. I inspire women to discover how they can live their life to its full potential. Then I help them find the way to make that happen. I know that sounds like a very grand statement, but it's what I do, because I know what it's like to be stuck. And I don't believe that you have to remain stuck or that you should remain stuck. I was stuck for a very long time, and it took me a very long time and a lot of wrong turns or detours to find my way, but I did find my way. I know that sometimes making changes seems more difficult, and it does take time and effort and courage, and it can be an emotional roller coaster at times, but you can change things. So I inspire women to improve their lives and guide them in making the changes and the decisions to make that happen, because I believe that we all deserve to be our best selves and live our best lives in whatever way that looks for us individually, because we are all different. So I work with successful, high achieving women, and by successful, I mean that other people on the outside looking in think that you appear to be successful. However, inside, you're feeling stress, overwhelm, and possibly feeling that you're on the edge of burnout. Everything that you have, your time, your energy, is going into your career, but it still isn't enough. And you feel guilty that you've nothing left for other areas of your life or for the important people in your life, and you're missing out on special life moments. You feel like life is passing you by, you're unhappy and feeling stuck with a real sense that there's more to life and you're missing out. And it's all taken its toll on your life and on your health. You know that things need to change, but you don't have time to stop and figure out what that is or how you do it. But you do know that you want a life and a lifestyle that you love, and deep down you believe that you deserve that. And you do, you really do deserve that. Now, I don't work with everybody. The people that I don't always work particularly well with are those who, for one reason or another, just aren't quite ready to make the change right now. Um, because it's not my role to leave you where you are, and that is my approach. I will nudge you or push you when you need it, because I will not feel that I have fulfilled my role if things haven't progressed for you within the short time that we work together. And that approach isn't for everybody. Some people prefer a more gentle, slightly more cautious approach, and some just aren't ready for that change yet, and that's okay. Also, people who want immediate change. I have been told that I enthuse people and I fire them up and inspire them, and they want to just take action immediately. Um, and in some ways that's good, but mostly, particularly at the outset, I need to rein that back in a little bit, because while I want you to make changes that are transformative, I also want you to work on a very considered basis, and we will consider every aspect of your life and carefully plan your exit strategy from your career or your business so that you will have a detailed, realistic, achievable plan of how to progress from where you are, and you'll have the tools, the steps, the plans, the mindset, and the skills to get you there. So, as you can see, that will not be a quick, easy fix. So, why I do what I do, essentially because just a few years ago, that was me. I was stuck in a 20-year career that I hadn't been happy in for a very long time, for years. I was working 60 to 70 hours a week, and I didn't have the energy for anything else outside of work. And when I did do other things, it was at breakneck speed. I was just racing through life. My mental health was suffering, my health was suffering, I was burnt out, and when I did eventually stop and leave my job, I had a breakdown. So then I needed to take time to recover from that before I could really lean into my plans of building this business. And it was only then, when I finally stopped, that I realised how much I needed to slow down my pace of life, to find stillness at times, appreciate the little things, breathe. So I do have blog posts that tell more about my story in detail, and I'll post the links below. But now I live in Spain in a light, bright rooftop apartment with a little rescue dog. I walk by the sea. I get out exploring the island as I just love to be in nature and need it. I don't have a car. I live much more simply. I live more slowly. I work mostly online, doing what I love, and also, I do a little bit of work locally so that I can feel that I'm part of this lovely island community. And the best part of it is that it doesn't feel like work. I found my purpose, that was my dream, and I'm living it. So, my life before was very, very different. But because I have had my midlife revival, then that's why I'm just so certain that you can redesign and revive your life too. So my process, I don't start out with a predetermined outcome for you. The process worked for me, but I had a lot of teachers, and I wouldn't say wrong turns, but it wasn't a straight path for me, even though I was already so familiar with them, many of the coaching tools that I've worked with for years, but I worked through it. I tweaked it, I improved it, and because I've worked so closely with other people and their personal development for so long, I use a very intuitive approach. So while I do have a process, it's not always linear. And some people need to spend a bit longer in certain parts, and sometimes we need to go back and revisit earlier lessons. So I always encourage you to find the right approach for you. This is your life, your way. What I do and what this process will do is help you to get unstuck, to find your path, and to achieve your best life. And so I developed a holistic approach to achieving balance and essentially well-being in life. I split these under four headings, or grouped them under four headings, but as you'll see, there is overlap and intertwining of the different elements, and none of them are entirely independent of each other. Within the headings, I split those into key areas, and within those, there will be different subheadings. Because I do believe that you need to adopt a holistic approach. If any of these are out of kilter, then they affect the others. So for me, whenever I'm evaluating my life and making plans, I look at these key headings and these headings within them. And under mind, I have mental health, personal growth and development, and emotional well-being and self-care. Under body, for me, it's physical health, physical fitness, nutrition, rest, exercise, and then also style and image, and that's how you present yourself so that you can present yourself with confidence and present new challenges or situations with confidence too. In life, connection and belonging, is your family, it's your friends, it's your relationships, it's also your sense of community. Here I have work and money grouped together, but really they're both so big that we can look at them separately. And work can be a career, it can be a job. Your purpose might be outside of that. It can be voluntary work, it could be setting up a new business, um, wherever you find your purpose. And money then is looking at your mindset and making sure that you have finances in place to live a lifestyle and longer term the life that you envisage and envision. And within home then that is your space. It is your house, your space, your location, and even your lifestyle. And soul is your spirituality, your religion. The daily practice is how you can, well, it's a schedule, but it's also how you can set up a practice that ensures that you achieve everything that you envision your dream life to look like. And then the personal life plan is something that I visit daily as part of that practice to make sure that I'm on track or aligned to where I want to be. Um, so today I am going to talk you through the process. Now this is part of my signature program, but it outlines the steps that and tips that you can work through yourself um, to outline and plan for a life of passion and a life of purpose where you're going to be much more fulfilled. So we won't have time today to go into it in great depth, but I will talk you through it at a higher level. But you will find on my website, I have blog posts, I have resources, and I have workbooks which you can download for free if you would like to visit any of these in more detail. And if you would like to find out more about any particular part of the process, then please just let me know in the comments and I will use those to help me plan more of these webinars. So what I will say up front is that this is not always easy work and it definitely isn't a quick fix. This is more of a marathon than a sprint, but I will guide you through it. Um, and the first part of this process is actually evaluating in detail how your life is right now. It's assessing your whole life. You will identify the key areas for you within the framework. What's working, what's not. What boosts your energy, what is dragging you down. Where are you spending most of your time? What's taking up more of your time than you would like? Where would you like to prioritize? And then how do you prioritize what you would like to improve or change? Then we look at why am I here? And this is the part where you will, if you don't already know, find your purpose, recognize your strengths and your talents, and really fully consider what are your options, all of them. Initially, we'll start out with everything and then look at them in more depth as to what could you make money from now? What are you already qualified to do? What would you need to train or study for? Can you afford to take time out to study? Could you continue to work and possibly study or set up a business or side hustle on the side? So it's really considering all of those options and what's right for you. But undermining that all is what do you actually want? What is going to bring you happiness? What is going to bring you joy? Because let's remember you're coming from a place where you're not happy. So the dream has to have that underpinning all of it. Next, it's how do you get out of your own way to make this happen? So this is the mindset module, and this is where things can potentially get emotional, but that's all helping you to release the things that are no longer serving you or things that you no longer need to carry. So we look at how do you let go, and that may be letting go of limiting beliefs identifying those and releasing fears or mindset blocks that are holding you back. You may be carrying resentment, you may tend to slip into victim mode. We may need to look at forgiveness or disappointments. Um, but it's looking at all of that so you can leave it behind you and move forward more freely. And then it's looking at what can you actually control and where can you let go, and also where you can claim your power back. So you're moving forward much more confidently and empowered. Then how do we get there? How do we move from dreams to realization? I am from a professional background, and I'm from a business and corporate background, but I'm also spiritual, and I'm fascinated with psychology and neuroscience. And this is for me where it all just comes together. Um, if you're not already familiar with it, we will go through an introduction to the law of attraction, and then create your vision board. To me, that's where the magic happens. That's where you sort of bring your dreams to life. But then we'll move on to your personal life plan and revisit the key areas that you have prioritized in the first module or exercise, and then outlining a plan in more detail. And then your daily practice, we touched on that earlier, but that's establishing a routine and a schedule, but as part of that, including things like gratitude, journaling, setting your intentions, looking at where your energy leaks are, what's taking your energy on a particular day, and then daily affirmations. And this is all about raising your energy, focusing on what you want. What you focus on expands, and thoughts become things. So we just want to keep those to the forefront, and where your focus and energy goes daily, hourly, all the time, so that you can manifest more powerfully. And the last one again is a little bit more practical. So we look at setting goals and taking action, creating a detailed action plan, outlining steps and milestones, and how you can learn to review these regularly to make sure that you're staying on track, you're aligned with your plans, and also to recognize and celebrate achievements that will continue giving you momentum on your journey. And another important part is establishing boundaries. As women, we can be inclined to put other people first and forget about ourselves. So this is how to set healthy boundaries, learning how to say no, how to prioritize time for yourself, how to ensure that you are recharged and re-energized before you do things for other people. Uh, and yeah, looking at all that, it is a lot. It's a lot to cover, and some people say, oh, that is just too much, that's too hard. And it can be. It is hard at times, and it's emotional at times, but it's also hard and emotional being stuck in a career that's taken over your life. So a short phase of working through some exercises can free you from that. Other people say, I just don't have the time to stop and do all of that, and I get that. I spent so much time on the thing that was making me most unhappy, and it wasn't that I didn't then have time for anything else, but I certainly didn't have the energy. And it's only when I stopped and took some time out that I could even work out what I wanted and how to get there. And so now that I've done that, I have the time freedom to work when I want and where I want. So I would just ask you, what would you do with your time if you did have more freedom? Other people worry about what other people will think, and this is a tough one for many of us. We're all so socially conditioned for the approval of those around us, and we all have a need to belong. Um, and this is why the mindset module is so important, and the boundaries too. We need to rediscover who you were before life took over, before social norms steered you around a path that you never really had the time to consider if it was the right one for you. Um, we'll work out what's holding you back and how you can move forward with so much confidence that those around you will admire your resolve, and eventually they'll admire your results. And there will be those who don't agree, but possibly they're people who are more fearful of change, because let's face it, it can be easier to stay stuck. But I know that I hung out in that place for so long that it was killing me. So that's why I really want to help people plan their escape to the lives that you deserve. Another concern is that I spent my life training and studying and practicing and working to get to this position 10, 15, 20 years. I can't leave now. Yes, you did spend all that time, but that part's done now. You've done it, you've achieved it, you were successful at it, and maybe it worked for you at a point in time, but it's no longer working for you. It's not bringing you fulfillment or meaning, a sense of purpose or happiness. Um, I know from having swapped my career and I found my purpose, that now I can do work that I love, that I was born to do. Another big concern is that it will cost you money to change. And yes, it could, because depending on what you decide you want to do, you may need to invest in training or in gaining qualifications. I've had a number of clients who have actually gone back to university, some to study a master's, which is 4 years of study, so they won't have much time to work around all of those studies. So you may have periods where you have less income, and you will need to plan for that too. And that's why I help you to design an exit strategy from your old life, so that you consider all of this. You might decide to set up a new business on the side initially until you feel that it's established enough for you to be able to leave your employment. I sold my house to give me the time and space to set up a business, and I know that I was lucky to be able to do that. But now I need to plan for longer term for a pension. But what it did do was it gave me some time to go traveling, and eventually I relocated. And they were my choices, and everybody's choices can be and should be different. I also spent a huge amount of money on a coaching program that wasn't right for me, but that's a story for another day, but also another reason why I really, really do encourage a very considered, thought out approach. But ultimately, I did it, I changed, you can too. And if you follow a process similar to mine, you will have a plan, a path, with milestones and the practical next steps you need to take, which will give you clarity, confidence, and help you make the transition much more easily. The only way your life will change is if you change it. And I would like to give you the tools to help you do that. So thank you very much for your time today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that it was helpful. Um, I am really enjoying sharing parts of my work that I hope will help people. I will have another video to share with you next week, where I am going to go into one of the modules and take the chance to delve in much more deeply. So hopefully you will find that useful too. And please, if you have watched this through to the end, I would love you to leave a comment and let me know what challenges you are facing right now, if I could help you with anything, and what you would like to hear more of here. Um, and until next week, thank you very much. I would love to hear from you, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Have a great weekend, and I will speak to you again next week. Take care. Bye bye.